Tayawa, Chieftain headquarters in Tafa Balewa. State House gets 47.11 billion in 2025 budget. Ibadan stampede. Police confirm 35 minors dead. Arrest Oni's ex-wife, 7 others. Hardship. Over half of Nigerians want to immigrate, says report. Moving over to Daily Trust. 2025 budget. Tinubu Shetima trips refreshments to GOP 9.4 billion naira. Presidency to spend 10.6 billion naira on cars. Honorarium fuel essays office. Appropriation bill scales second reading at NAS. FG reverses Ogun Jimi's appointment as AGF made into complete tenure. Marketers expect cheaper petrol as Dangote cuts price to 899.50 kobo per litre. Ibadan stampede. Death toll hits 40. Oni's ex-wife, others detained. I heard Christmas. Chicken cost 25,000 naira. Turkey cost 130,000 naira. Wike revokes Onagene Abbas Akume's land allocations. 1 killed, siblings injured as explosions rock Niger community. 55.4 billion naira Greater Duse water project takes off in Jigawa. Over to The Nation. Police confirmed 35 children dead in a Ibadan stampede. Tinubu mourns, others probe Oni's ex-queen, 6 others arrested. First Lady gives out 22,800 bags of rice to North's Christians. 845 billion naira allocated for minimum wage in 2025. Federal government estimates. Bill passes second reading. Moving over to The Matrix. Death toll in Ibadan. Christmas party tragedy rises. Tinubu commiserates with Governor Makinde. Others investigation into incident. Oni's palace shows solidarity with ex-queen. Mourns funfair victims. Atiku Shawolu. Other mourns victims. Relief for Nigerians. Petron hails Dangote refinery for slashing petrol price. Website hack. Your claim is suspicious. Article tells NBS. Agency denies arrest of Statistician General by DSS. Court orders permanent forfeiture for MFLA-linked Ogun warehouse to FG. Some senators won't see 2025 budget before passage. Attributed to Deji Adeyanju. FCT court grants ex-Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello 500 million naira bail. Lastly, Buhari not the owner of revoked Abuja land. Garba Shehu replies Wike. And lastly, right here, first news. Land revocation storm. Wike's decision hits Buhari Foundation orders. Tension rises as affected parties decry alleged witch hunt. 35 minors confirmed dead in Ibadan stampede. Oni's ex-wife arrested. Sultan labels Marjorie system embarrassing, calls for immediate reform. Court seizes MFLA-linked warehouse containers in Ogun. 2025 budget. FG earmarks 845 billion naira for minimum wage. Reps donates 704.91 million naira half-year salaries for Tinubu for vulnerable Nigerians. Dangote refinery slashes petrol price to 899 naira 50 kobo per litre, offers festive relief. FCT court grants Yahaya Bello 500 million naira bail. And lastly, HIV/AIDS still public threat, attributed to Nakadiji.
All right, thank you so much, Oji.
Yeah.
Also, let's begin with this one on Leadership Friday, simply because it matches, of course, today's Friday. Non-payment of fees. Wike revokes Buhari about 757 others Abuja land titles. Buhari has said that the land revoked does not belong to him, so he has pushed back. But we're seeing Wike doing something that many people might find shocking. These are high-profile individuals, and he's just casually taking land away because they've not been able to pay fees concerning their certificates of ownership titles. So what do you make of this? How does this make you feel, this action by Wike, the FCT minister?
Well, any person can do that. El-Rufai did that in Abuja. Indeed, El-Rufai did the most demolition of people's property in Abuja, far, far, far more than what Wike can do. He doing that. It may look commendable, but first of all, the question you ask is he right? Is he doing the thing required in law? So because somebody doesn't pay a fee, prescribed fee, you revoke the land. Is that the position of the law? How long is the person owing? What notice was given to the person? You see, there are some actions of political leadership you know is pure window dressing. It doesn't really add anything to the common man. Because if you don't follow due process, those people will go to court. If you say you have sold the premises for not paying, that is lighter. It's something you remove the tape when the person pays. But in this case, your revocation for not paying, how long was he owing? What notices were given to him before the revocation? Even the notice, was it in writing? That is the position of the law. Was it in writing? And in which case he has an opportunity to respond to you and to say, what you are asking me to pay is not the proper thing. Go to your books and check, and go to the law and check, for you to know that what you're doing is not the proper thing.
Do you think it's some kind of political witch hunt? As we know that Nyesom Wike, he has not distanced himself from these allegations over time. Do you think that this is some kind of witch hunt against these parties?
Yes, it can be if you consider the political network of the individuals mentioned. You know, the Wike guy, always tends to play, to be up there against everybody. He's not really, he's a showman. That is the fact. He's a showman. He wants to look tough.
Can we attribute this to superiority complex?
Eh?
Can we attribute this to superiority complex?
Yes. Yes, it is superiority complex, and you know superiority complex is just the other side of the inferiority complex, right? People who ordinarily do not think they will arrive at a certain position of power, glory, and they arrive there. They are not likely to be as cultured as others would be if they had taken step-by-step approach to it. You know, just like people who come across sudden wealth, you know their spending is different,
yes.
Their courage is different.
The state of mind is also different.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
So let me bring you to Daily Trust. Okay. This caught my attention. 2025 budget. Tinubu Shetima's trips refreshments to GOP 9.4 billion naira during this Yuletide. Presidency to spend 10.6 billion naira on cars, honorarium, fuel, essays office. Now, how does this make you feel at this point in time? We are in downtime, right? In this quest and in the call and the quest of cutting cost of governance. At this point in time in Nigeria, we are spending this type of huge amount of money just for a festive period for the president.
I have to just comment there. I think this is more about a 2025 budget, if that's the same headline from Daily Trust.
Yeah,
this is a 2025 budget, not necessarily about the festive period. But yes, it's still in view because it could affect the festive period next year. But it's about 2025, this refreshments and the trips gulping this amount of money.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel? In a call to cut cost of governance in Nigeria at this point in time, we're in downtime, and we are attributing this huge portion of monies to these leaders?
Okay. You see, I will be honest with you. I don't always like to discuss Nigerian budget. Do you know why?
Why?
There is no single government in Nigeria that adheres to its own budget. Not even one. That budget is window dressing. It's for the public. It's not for them. It's not the same thing as the spending.
So they go way above?
They go way above. Some areas are not even touched. You can see some parastatals or the MDAs. They will allocate huge sums of money, but they will not be paid a penny of it. You take, for instance, what is happening in the universities, the ASU strike. It's not that on paper those things were not allocated. They were. But the problem was they were not given. The money was not disbursed. So the simple appropriation is a different thing. That money they have there for entertainment, I can tell you without fear of contradiction, they will spend thrice that amount. Right? They will spend thrice that amount. Nobody cares. They tell me where any government that has come, for instance, you say April now, you say that budget of 2024 is closed, right? Let us review it. Let us look at the spending. Which government has done that? It is when they do it that you will now, if they do it sincerely, you will now know that they adhered strictly to the budget or not. I can tell you, you see, the issue is priorities based on the whims and caprices of people in authority. They will have those things on paper, but what that president or the other big shots think, that's what they will do. That is why you have people, some heads of ministries or parastatals, begging for release of money. So, to be honest with you, I do not think budget works in Nigeria. I do not think that.
All right. Now, let's quickly segue to this other topic that is very topical right here in the Southeast because it involves Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want us to look at, the recent statement by the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, that the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would not end insecurity in the region. He believes that the struggle, the separatist group struggle, the Biafran struggle has already been hijacked by criminals, and as a result of this, the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu may not necessarily end insecurity. So this is a burning topic. And, it's time that we start to have this conversation and, look at the reality, look at things as they are now and the way things have changed from the time he was arrested to right now. So let's gain your perspective on two critical questions. First, do you think that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released, the issue of insecurity, not just in Anambra State, but in the Southeast would completely be a thing of the past? And secondly, how would you describe the behavior, the countenance, the actions of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu prior to his arrest?
Prior to his arrest. Okay. Now, on the first wing of your question, I agree with the governor that release of Nnamdi Kanu is not going to curb the criminality going on. But I don't know in which context he said that. You see, sometimes you look at why people think of certain projects and they stop it. The reason is this: they cannot control it. They cannot handle it. When Nnamdi Kanu started, that area of camping people in the bush and all that, maybe they didn't think of it very well, that they may not be able to control it. So, because of that, the thing got out of hand. Perhaps if Kanu was around, it would have been controlled. Because at the time he was still roving around, it was controlled. But now, every criminal who has some money will gather boys, camp them in the bush, get money, kidnap people, kill people, take killing contracts, mount roadblocks and collect money, steal people's money, and then on and on and on. And it has really gotten out of hand. If that is what Governor Soludo is talking about, yes, he was right. Releasing him is not going to stop the criminality. What will stop the criminality is actively combating the criminals in the bush by the security forces, Nigerian security forces. That is what will do that. And maybe what is his method now? Surrender your gun and get paid. Surrender your gun to a priest or what and get paid. Maybe it will work. But I don't see it working. You see, there's something you have to bring in when you look at this. That is the issue of what the statisticians released. 2-point-something trillion from
this year.
Ransom.
Yeah.
Right? Just think of that. Think of 5% of that. It is a big business. How many banks in Nigeria, put 5 banks together, do they declare that as profit in a year? Even the oil companies, who is having that kind of money? So it is a big business. It is bound to explode as it has exploded because there's big money there. And then the raw materials to do that readily available. A lot of unemployed young men, a lot of angry persons, a lot of people who are now attuned to see crime as the only way to live either evenly or shoot up as Odogo or whatever. So you don't see that it's not a matter of, it's not connected. But you see why that statement by Soludo was not a good one, not dangerous. He's not taking into account how Soludo was arrested.
How Nnamdi Kanu.
How Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, which was extraordinary rendition, and how the courts have freed him and the government is still holding him. So if you remove that legal aspect, you are not qualified to talk about anything with the impact of Kanu's release or not, because his arrest was illegal in the first place. Because extraordinary rendition in international law is clearly stated an illegal affair. You don't spring a person, you follow due process. But it was not followed.
Yes, but still speaking about the issue of security, before we round this up, still speaking on security, the actions of Nnamdi Kanu, he was the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra before his arrest, and he had his radio station. He used to, broadcast a lot of things. His actions, would you say they were, how would you describe those actions? Not just the way he was arrested, but how he was acting prior to his arrest, his actions before his arrest. Do you think that if he is released, that there will be any change? Do you think that anything will change at all?
You mean change about his pattern?
Yes, the pattern of
liberation struggle.
His pattern of liberation struggle. And describe his liberation struggle prior to his arrest.
Yeah, see what I'll tell you. First of all, that thing is sub judice, right? So it may not be safe to discuss it. But then, by way of light comment, many people do not know anything about liberation struggle. And even in international law, what people are supposed to do. What Nnamdi Kanu was trying to do was to dismantle the image of the country he thinks is holding his people captive. Right? It's just like in war. If you declare war, you have declared death, you have declared torture, you have declared destruction, wreckage. So, I'm not saying he was right or wrong. But I'm trying to say that if you look at the independence struggle in Nigeria, you go back and look at what Zik did. He led it, and then the others, even those who were a kind of complacent and conservative and pandering to the British. But Zik, they did a lot of things. If you take any of the books on Zik's movement, you found out how they combated the colonialists with lies, with shocks, with revelations, with comparison. What obtains in their country does it obtain here? And a lot of that. So these are things that are usually employed. So Kanu doing some of those things, what I don't personally like about his style was attacking other ethnic groups. But I understand it. In the sense...
Well, wait, can you repeat yourself? What didn't you like about his style?
About?
Nnamdi Kanu's style.
Yeah. Attacking other ethnic groups. Because you can never be right in condemning a whole people. When you say the Yoruba did this or the Yoruba did that, where is the proof that the Yoruba sat and planned to do this? It's just like those who executed the pogrom against Easterners in 1966 and 67. Because about 17 army officers carried out a coup. Then you now punish the whole of the Igbo race and even the surrounding walls. By doing that, you are condemning a whole people. All the people you killed, most of them never knew anything about how the coup was planned. They didn't know how it was executed. They never once met the individuals who carried out that coup. But then you condemn them by association, just by their being Igbo or their being Easterners.
Okay, before we run off, right, let's compare approach, manner of approach. When Nnamdi Kanu was still, before he was incarcerated, his approach was more of shouting, saying stuff, echoing what the Nigerian state and whatnot, right? Then he was incarcerated. Then comes Simon Ekpa, which approach was more of violence, go after, and led to all we are seeing, the mayhem we're seeing in the Southeast at this point in time. Now, he's been arrested, and we can see somewhat everywhere dying down. People, like, Mondays are busier than ever before right now, right? Don't you think that releasing Nnamdi Kanu would bring a halt totally to, whatever we're facing down here in the East, regarding to seeing what happened when Simon Ekpa was arrested? Like, you can literally hear all the noise of people trying to enforce Monday sit at home and whatnot. Like, all that story somewhat died down.
Okay, before even the government started doing things about the sit at home, Nnamdi Kanu had said they should stop the sit at home.
Simon Ekpa countered that it's not true. Like, till he calls him or message him or he sees him saying it, then he believes it. But for now, no, they're playing tricks on people's minds.
Well, personally, I don't understand Nnamdi Kanu. I don't want to understand him. I do not think he's into liberation struggle.
Are you talking about Simon Ekpa?
Simon Ekpa, sorry.
Okay.
Simon Ekpa. Exactly. Thank you for helping me out.
Fine.
This Simon Ekpa, I do not understand him. I haven't studied him. I don't know why he's into it. I know he's not making the impact. I know he doesn't even understand. You see, what many people don't know is the weight of the force they are planning to fight. You are fighting a force, an establishment that has been there for over 5 centuries. That establishment is the British establishment. That is what you're fighting. All these diplomatic actions leading to punishment of IPOB and stopping of their programs and using certain countries to control their destiny is by the British Whitehall, which is so experienced in this. So that was why the George Obiozor said, come out from there. It's too big for you. You can't do it. You cannot do it. So then, on the style of Kano, you know, everybody doesn't have to know about propaganda. In propaganda, you choose your method. You decide what you use to attract attention, what you use to shock the society and compare attention, right? That was why he was doing the gerund things, like saying Buhari was cloned, and this thing happened, and that happened. And you have to give it to him, he was also getting good information about Nigeria. If you go back to those things he predicted, you see them coming one by one. Yeah. As at 2014, he said Buhari will become president, and after Buhari will be Tinubu. Is it?
All right. Thank you so much for your insights on the show today. I mean, I think we're wide awake right now. Apologies for the mix-up earlier. I think I was thinking about Wike when I referred to you as Commissioner for Lands. But yes, we did have Ozo Igbonekwu Ogazimorah, former Commissioner for Information, Enugu State, Editor-in-Chief, SBS Great Interviews, and an attorney at law. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
Remember, our 12 Days of Christmas special is still on, and today we're going to be dropping yet another question for you to respond to. If you answer correctly, you would be winning a gift, courtesy of Afia TV. Also, much later, we're going to be announcing the winner of yesterday's, well, competition, or should we say challenge. The morning show returns shortly. Do stay. What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyno Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breastfeeding. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show on here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did single. For real.
You're not a backup singer.
That's what they do.
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that, you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Welcome back to the Afia Morning Show, 12 days of Christmas special. Remember what I said, our challenge is still on, our giveaway, what we have for you this season. Do all to stay tuned and listen carefully for the question. Of course, before you even answer that question correctly, you need to even know the answer. So pay attention to what our guests say, what our correspondents say, and what yours truly, of course, your hosts say on today's show. We begin around the region today in Umuahia, Abia State, where if all must have access to justice in Abia State, there is need to strengthen the rule of law by effectively implementing the Abia State Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2017. This is the center of the stakeholders' capacity building organized by the Center for Transparency Advocacy in collaboration with the Abia State Ministry of Justice. Emmanuel Wazwe, Afia TV Bureau Chief in Abia State, completes this story.
The Abia State Administration of Criminal Justice Law, signed by former Governor Kemi Badenoch on December 30, 2017, was domesticated from the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. 7 years later, its provisions face widespread violations, denying victims access to justice. To address this, the Center for Transparency Advocacy, CTA, in collaboration with the Abia State Ministry of Justice, organized a training for stakeholders from the media, security agencies, and judiciary on strengthening the rule of law through implementing the law. The Executive Director of CTA, Faith Nwadishi, emphasized the importance of the training.
There are three particular stakeholders that we will identify in the administration of that law. And citizens sit at the center of it. So if you're talking about access to justice and citizens don't know their right or what they should do, you're just going around the circle without really making impact. So we are trying to get citizens to be aware of this law so that they can engage more with security agencies and engage the other stakeholders. So we are looking at those who are the first points of a crime. The police, the NSCDC, the DSS, all of those security agents. Then you follow on to that when they do that, and then you get the lawyers involved, and then eventually you get to court. What happens when judgment is passed? Then you go to where they take them, the correctional services. So people need to know their rights along these lines.
A legal practitioner and facilitator of the training, Chiemezialam Oluoha Steve, outlined the law's key provisions and guidelines.
Principal stakeholders in the criminal justice system to have a uniform criminal justice system that is less retributive and more transformative, in the sense that you're not just punishing the offender of a crime, you're also giving him the opportunity to get reform. You're also giving him the opportunity to get rehabilitated so that at the end of the day, he doesn't end up committing the same crime for which he was initially punished. Then on the part of the victim at the end of the day is not just going home happy that the offender has been sentenced to a jail term. The victim can also have a sort of restitution for the offense which the offender has committed. So all these are part of the innovation that this ACJL has brought in. So with this team strengthening the rule of law through effective implementation of the Abia State Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2017, we are going to streamline it to the ACJL again in Abia State. The particular areas that concerns human rights, then the areas that also concern the victims and how they are adequately compensated.
This sparked debates amongst the participants.
And any other places you belong to make that judge or magistrate to close his eyes and decides to do something that is out of ordinary. Take for instance, you went to the radio station, pick somebody, in the next 2 hours, that person has been judged already. Denying that person any form of time to defend himself.
Everyone has a role they play to subvert justice at one point or the other. We are all answerable to somebody somewhere, somehow. And then at that point, there's always a point where your hands are tied. And it is not a one-man affair. It's unfortunate that we are talking about the ACJL, and the ACJL is only talking about the criminals. They're not talking about the law officers. We're only victims too. Where the law protects these criminals more than the enforcers, we become victims.
Yes, if a person comes to the police and make a complaint, you will receive the complaint at the first instance, you record the statement, and then you go into investigation. And if at the end of the investigation, you see that that person is not liable to the offense the complainant alleged against him, you release that person and charge the complainant for false information, giving false information to the police. And we've been doing this. It's just that it's not to your notice.
The facilities are congested due to some lacuna in the administration process. And to decongest the centers, the Honorable Attorney General, in his capacity, has been doing everything possible to ensure that the facility is decongested to a reasonable number. If you come to the correctional center, there are cases ordinarily would have been resolved without even coming to the correctional center. But you know, the police, they are wonderful people.
The training was supported by the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, ROLAC, in conjunction with the European Union. Further engagements with other stakeholders are planned in the coming days. In Umuahia, Emmanuel Wazwe reporting.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for that report. So now we know how we can achieve access to justice for all in Afia State. Moving away from there now to Owerri in Imo State, where although Christmas is a season known for celebration and togetherness, many families are finding things difficult due to financial constraints this season. This affects the whole of Nigeria, and of course, Imo State is not left out. Our correspondent Miriam Onyebule in Owerri filed this report.
The financial struggles faced by many residents of Imo State, like all the Nigerians, is a result of acute inflation. Onyedikachi is a middle-aged woman who sells detergent and beverage at Douglas Market in Owerri. Although she works hard at making sales every day, she can barely afford to buy goodies like clothes and toys for her 3 children for the Christmas celebrations.
I haven't bought anyone because as I priced for once, I went to take. It's very hard. It's very hard for me to buy for my first son. So I can't afford the money that they have called it about.
She also finds foodstuff at the market so expensive that she can barely afford to buy them.
Even stockfish, even onions, everything is very high. Onions, now you can go to the onions, it's for 1,000 for this Imo State now. It's very high. You go to the right side, that one is not able to talk.
Like Dikachi's case, many households are struggling to buy staple food like rice, meat and fish due to the rising costs. This non-stop inflation has worsened since the removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government last year. Gloria, who sells crayfish in the same market, is marveled at the rate of rising cost of her goods.
When I entered inside the market to see some of my colleagues in the market and know how they are coping with the prices, what I saw was not encouraging, because so many business guys, the ones I know, young ladies and men, they have closed. They cannot even afford to buy a bag of crayfish. Like today, I sent money so that they will send me a bag of crayfish. I bought last time 230,000, but the transfer I made yesterday was 250. You can imagine the increase of the crayfish in the market. And many of them, they were like, how can I sell out 200, talk more of 200 and something thousand.
She believes that the government is largely to blame for the situation.
The problem is from the government. The reason why I said so is because they are not looking into productions. I think they are looking into all these producers and how they are hiring things in the market. It will help a lot.
Despite her hard work, Dikachi manages to make enough sales per day.
It's affecting me muchly because how many things I used to put in my shop before it's not how the thing is. I just manage myself. But you even the one that I used to buy full carton, I buy half.
Yet she's determined to ensure her children are comfortable. Dikachi's story is a poignant reminder of the challenges many Nigerians face this festive season. Notwithstanding the financial struggles, her resilience and determination to hold their family together reflect the true spirit of Christmas. In Owerri, Miriam Onyebule reporting.
You're welcome back to the Afia Morning Show, 12 days of Christmas special, and thank you for staying with us. Remember to pay close attention to everything that will be discussed on today's show. Pay attention to all you are going to be hearing on today's show so that you may stand a chance to be today's winner. And remember, the way to win, go straight to @Afia News on YouTube, the new YouTube channel created for news programs on Afia TV, and look for this Afia Morning Show stream, the live stream. Go to the section of the YouTube interface that shows live. Look out for this show, and when you hear what you think is the correct answer once the question is asked, do also comment it first. And it's not to say hi alone. Make sure the answer is actually the correct answer. Now we move on straight to what is most trending right now in Enugu, and that involves the Ijele Masquerade sculpture unveiling. It was unveiled yesterday officially by the Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Highness Igwe Alfred Nemeka Achebe. The full report. Ceremony, a rich display of Igbo culture, tradition and beauty, marks the official unveiling of the Ijele Masquerade sculpture at the Ono Asata roundabout in Ogui, Obiago, Enugu. The sculpture of the revered masquerade was unveiled by the Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Majesty Igwe Alfred Nemeka Achebe, in the company of the Executive Chairman of the Enugu State Tourism Board, Lady Rita Mba, the Chairman of the Council of Traditional Rulers of Enugu State, Igwe Samuel Asadu, and the former Chairman, Southeast Traditional Rulers Council, Igwe Lawrence Agobozo, alongside traditional rulers from Enugu State and other stakeholders. Lady Mba, in her address, explained the concept behind the masquerade and honored with a moment of silence the renowned traditional Ogene musician, late Okezie Chikezie Mba, widely known as Iboja.
Igwe Achebe, the chairman of the Enugu State Igwe's Council, our Royal Majesty Justice here present. Today is a great day. Today, the Obi of Onitsha is going to unveil the Ijele structure, the artwork, a wonderful piece of artwork here. There's a concept behind this work. The concept is that the Obi people are known for their ogene and their masquerades. The Enugu people are known for their culture. And so, we decided to do this wonderful edifice here. Don't forget that this is the place where Enugu residents, tourists alike, converge during festive periods to watch the masquerade. So for that reason, we deemed it fit to put this wonderful Ijele masquerade here. Please permit me to request for a moment of silence for our great son, Iboja, who died not long ago. He is well known for his masquerade and ogene music. Please, a moment of silence for Iboja. May his soul rest in peace.
Ozo Ferdinand, Ike and Ikwe shared insights on the concept of the masquerade.
Nemeka achebe Obi Onitsha igwe anyị ekene enu me echizi ihe eji ekwu okwu n'aka ritamba nwanyị mara mma ugocha ka ozie oke o siga ngozie o malite nwoke a na-ekwuru anyị okwu ka ọ gbazie igwe ka igwe ga-emepe ha anyị na-abịa unu mara ekweghị m ka nso bekee mana unu mee ya n'ihu WhatsApp.
In his address, Igwe Alfred Achebe commended the governor of Enugu State and described the masquerade as peculiar to the people of Anambra and Enugu.
Enugu State. Our distinguished Executive Director of the Tourism Board, former Commissioner for Tourism, and the Honorable Commissioner for Tourism. One wine. Because Obu nuku fangule na anome bata Enugu. Wuluku mani webata na polmu webata. Enugu bu isi obodo ani Igbo niile. Ada abaya Ochukwu debele otu a. So ife ọbụla ga-eme ka Enugu dị mma, ọ dị abụ ndị Igbo mkpa rinne. So kwa kpọrọ m ka m bịa tata, o mani ka m ji wee bịa. Ozo Ferdinand Anikwe obe ka ọrụ mbe nkenke wee kọọ maka Ijele bụ mmụọ ka mmụọ niile anọ bụ ndị Anambra na ndị Enugu na-eti Ijele. It's peculiar to us and I am eti Ijele na ejepịa akwa kịta akụkọ dị n'ime ya bụ Ijele riri nne ife na ji ebi bụrụ mmadụ dị n'Ijele a onye ka o ji bụrụ mmụọ ka mmụọ niile so a na-ekene ndị Enugu site na gọvanọ Peter Mba bụ Ijele n'onwe ya Peter Mba bụ Ijele n'onwe ya anyị na-ekene ya.
A highlight of the event was the unveiling of the plaque by His Royal Highness the Obi of Onitsha.
Ijele masquerade sculpture unveiled, commissioned on the 19th of December 2024 by my humble self, courtesy Board City Beautification 2024. Destination Enugu. All by the grace of God and to the glory of God.
Following this, the sculpture was unveiled in its full glory.
Amen. Bumbakalaka, and Igbo Bumbakalaka, and to appreciate our antiquity as a nation. Thank you very much.
Enugu residents who observed the unveiling were elated about the development.
What government is doing is good. It's cultural. It's bringing the culture of Enugu people. In the 80s, people used to rally around Obiago. This is a cultural street from here to down to Obiago. So it's like bringing back the old days.
No, it's very nice. We do appreciate the government for bringing this into our community. We are so excited. Okay? We are happy about that.
How about you, sir? Sir, go ahead.
The same thing is very, very nice because it shows that this place is the home of masquerade culture in Enugu State. Very, very nice.
Historically, the site where the sculpture has been placed was the destination for masquerade displays during festive seasons, such as the mask homecoming at Christmas. In an earlier interview, Lady Rita Amba shared more light on the essence of the masquerade.
It's really a wonderful thing to have that piece of art positioned in that area. And what we're trying to do is that we're trying to tell people who we are as a people, our cultural heritage, our beliefs and everything. You know, that honest roundabout, there's something really significant about that roundabout. That roundabout happens to be the place where Enugu residents and tourists alike converge during festive celebrations to watch the masquerade. I myself, as a kid, I remember my parents used to take us to that particular roundabout to watch the masquerades. You know, we run around chasing the masquerades. The masquerade gets upset, turns back, chasing us all around, and then we repeat the same process again. So when we embarked on the city beautification, Enugu city beautification and roundabout scheme, and I passed through that roundabout, I said to myself, we should put an Ijele masquerade or any other masquerade at that roundabout to depict what the Owi people are known for and to bring back the memories back to those people who used to go there at that roundabout to watch masquerade during those days. The popular Okpoma masquerade, traditional music groups also entertained spectators at the site of the ceremony, imitating a welcoming of the masquerade. Recall that the sculpture by an artist, Sunday Chukwu, commissioned by the Enugu State government, has since its installation generated excitement in the state. The installation of the sculpture is in continuation of the city beautification and roundabout scheme of the Enugu State government through the Enugu State Tourism Board. The Ijele masquerade sculpture has just been unveiled at the Onu Asata roundabout Enugu by the Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Alfred Nemeka Achebe. This sculpture has brought so much joy to Enugu residents. They are so excited. Traditional rulers also just left here and also gave their blessings, praising the governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndubisimba. We hope that this masquerade brings a new ray of sunshine to Ono Asata. We'll continue to monitor how well the government maintains it. From Ono Asata roundabout in Enugu, Nathalie Uku reporting for Afia TV. All right, and there you have it. The almighty, mysterious, grand Ijele masquerade has finally been unveiled in its full, outstanding glory. I mean, there you have it. Everything there in detail. We call that a mini documentary. The mystery of the Ijele. You know, there's something about it. Even yesterday, I was feeling cold. I was like, when we were going there to cover the report, I was like, I suddenly got goosebumps. Like, there's something about it, something spiritual. And I'm not trying to make up a story that I'll tell the kids later, but there's something mysterious about that masquerade. It comes with its own, it's not just a sculpture. I wouldn't be too wrong or incorrect if I say that it floats at night when I start telling those fables to maybe my grandchildren. But how did you feel about that report?
One, in Igbo land, they say Ijele Boke Mong. So it's natural for you to feel the way of feeling, right? There are so many attributes to that masquerade, right? It's not just an ordinary masquerade. There's a reason why it's called Ijele. And it's the last mount that comes out in every occasion, right? Yeah, so it's like the mount we came to see. But it's a great deal that it's situated at that point where masquerades, Ogene, is being celebrated. All that area, that's what they are known for, right? So definitely, and it's a great deal that sculpture is right at that point, and it's going to bring a lot of eyes.
Yes, exactly.
Right, international eyes and whatnot, because it's never been seen or done before.
Well, I mean, one of the traders there who I was privileged to speak to said that we all know what the Ijele means, that this is not, we've seen masquerades here for a very, very long time. You know, during the mass homecoming then of the Igbos, they used to actually go there to that area to watch masquerades. So they kind of know already the significance of that masquerade. But you see that masquerade, just let's try to cut this clip for later.
About Ijele, they understand.
There's something mysterious about that masquerade.
Ijele is mysterious, by the way. Ijele itself as a monk is mysterious.
Even its own sculpture, you cannot make a sculpture without that. But you know, let's take it back to the event. I really liked the fact that the executive chairman actually used that moment to honor the late Igboja.
Yes,
that moment of silence was very, very important to the success of that event. It was unexpected.
That's definitely around the place he plays.
Yes.
You know, I've just not far from there is Afia 9, where he normally plays and entertain people, right? So Obiagono Asata knows Igboja, and Igboja is Obiagono Asata. So when you talk about Ogene, right, and talk about masquerade, like it's a name, a force to reckon with. So definitely it's very important they did what they did.
Yes.
You know, paying that homage to him.
Paying that homage to him. All right. I mean, there are things we're going to get into much later that, of course, would involve the reaction of some groups within that area, within Obiago. People, of course, have things to say. We heard the positive reactions from the bystanders there, but we do have another side that we're going to be showing you much later on today's show. But first and foremost, we do have in our midst, again, you know, I never knew I would live to see this day, because I have a legend. I described him as a legend the last time he was on this show, and he's back again with the legendary impact. And that is none other than Mr. Sunday Chukwu, the sculptor behind the Ijele masquerade sculpture that has just been installed on Asata. The person, let's call him the creative hands, the hands that welded everything, that put that sculpture together, the injuries, the burns, the late nights. There he is.
Good to see you. Thank you. I'm humbled, you know.
Yeah.
Big names. You know, I'm just this artist that is trying to make impression.
How did you feel?
Made an impression, by the way.
You did make that impression. How did you feel about the unveiling ceremony that took place yesterday? Your first reaction when let's say the material was finally taken off this grand Ijele?
A dream come true. It's been one of the highlights of my career as a sculptor. I've done a whole lot, but this one is different. And I took myself out from being the sculptor that made the sculpture to enjoy the sculpture as just a normal person, an onlooker seeing it.
And how do you feel about that? And how do you see what you, being an ordinary person, seeing your work like from the other side? Like,
no, Oji, you have to come in there. Did you say ordinary person?
No, I'm like, he wants to be the ordinary.
Did you say ordinary person?
Ordinary. Look at the sculpture. Like the sculptor.
I'm not ordinary.
Hold up.
I am like, compared to the guy, the man next in front of me, I'm less than ordinary. Let's correct it.
I'm going with what he
You know, I'll
said.
keep repeating it till you do it. I will keep repeating it. What is the correct adjective?
For what?
For describing Sunday Chukwu.
Sunday Chukwu
is a what?
He's a legend.
Good.
A legend.
Go ahead.
But the legendary him left that legendary sculptor he is, right, to see things as an ordinary individual right there in the street. Hold up. It's just him being humble right now.
Oji.
So,
Oji, you want to twist my brain now.
No, it's fine.
He left the legendary person he is to become what?
Just an ordinary individual as us.
Okay, you're comparing, okay, it's not that he is an ordinary individual.
No, he's not ordinary.
This is a simile.
Yeah,
but he's legendary.
He's
legendary.
He has to leave the pedestal.
He's legendary. Okay, he left the pedestal.
He has to leave his tremendous self, the highest of himself, the legendary self, to come out.
I thought that was what you said.
He just wanted to be humble.
I thought that was what you said.
I mean, an onlooker. And by the bystander, right?
Great.
Watching what he did, right? To, entertain himself.
That's what I thought.
I'm asking right now. You, as an ordinary individual, living your legendary status, right? And watching the sculpture, let's say that it came from another sculptor, right? watching the sculpture, how do you feel? How do you perceive it? How did you enjoy it? Do you see how perfecto this is, or?
Well, very excited. I felt great that, I was able to achieve it. And I couldn't even place how and when it happened. I can't replay back. I can only remember the creative process. But I was so excited and I was happy. And I told my wife and I told the kid, I said, at this point I say, Sunday, with all humility, I am proud of you. I am very, very proud of you. And going through social media, getting messages from friends, loved ones all over the world. Sunday, we've seen this stuff. It has been unveiled. Congratulations. I feel so excited and I feel very good. And I'm grateful to the Almighty.
All right. Now, people are looking at the masquerade and they're still wondering about sustainability, especially when the rainy season comes. I know you answered this question during the last AM show, but, they're still thinking that there's so many aesthetics on it. You have the figurines, you have the mirrors that I know, automatically, when you see the rays of light from those mirrors on the masquerade, you have to look. So it's like you look at it and you're like, that is your reaction, because the light is just, it's just that, honestly, once you see the light reflecting off those mirrors, it's just like you have to move back.
Exactly.
So no matter where you're looking, once you pass that masquerade, you have to do eyes right or eyes left.
Have you actually been in presence of an Ijele, when the Ijele is moving? Have you actually been in presence of Ijele?
I have seen things that seem to be Ijeles, but I've not seen the grand,
the real Ijele.
Yes.
You understand, what it depicts there was near perfect.
All right.
Says, in arts, they didn't call any work perfect.
But then also, still regarding to that perfection, sustainability of that perfection, when the rainy season finally befalls us.
Great, thank you. I would answer that question again. The quality of materials that were used to do those works were interesting and durable materials that would stand the test of time. While I was making this piece, I was thinking about 100 years from now. So in the last time I visited, I told you in details the materials I used. But for the coming weather, the work is 6 weeks old in that spot. Now, the work is 6 weeks old. It was installed November 5. Today is December 20th. Now, the questions or the fears are reducing because it was like, oh, will this stand for a week or two? And now it's 6 weeks. And it's going to have many more years to come because of the quality of material and work that went into it. Because the convention, even the masquerade that you saw came around that environment yesterday, at some point the masquerade had to go to a particular place to get some rest.
Yes.
So imagine carrying that stuff. And the jelly masquerade the sculpture that I've created would be like that for many years.
What do you think the masquerades came to do? We understand that you have said clearly that it's going to last. You have 100 years in mind and beyond. But the masquerades that we saw at the scene, what do you think they came to do? Did they come to welcome this new masquerade?
I'll answer your question. However, there is still a space for what we call time to time to check the piece, and also it has about 4 different coats of paint. Definitely time to time we need to touch up to maintain that script's nature.
Who would be in charge of that? You?
No, it's the government who has commissioned me to do this work.
But would you rather that you carry out that maintenance yourself? Would you be fine? Being an artist yourself, would you be fine someone else doing that?
I like to see this piece. I like to see, definitely I'm this person that know about the work, know different nook and crannies of the work. So definitely I should be the one to do whatever maintenance work.
Before they use the wrong shade of yellow.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I think I had some dreams some night bags where I saw some dents and all that around. I was careful. I said, what's happening? So, but it turns out it was like a dream. And I said, oh, it's not going to happen that way. So we don't want to see, the more you look, the less you see. So definitely maintenance have to come in. Now, answering your question, when I saw the masquerades coming in, you know, it's the biggest of the masquerade which is on display as a sculpture. So every other masquerade wants to say, you know, I'm here. Yeah. You know, you're here. We're here to say, welcome you. So I think that is the Ojonu masquerade and some other masquerades that were coming. And I think, you know, when the Ijele masquerade goes, we have these music makers called the Akorecheni that goes around with it. So as it was unveiled, you know, music makers came and they were showing excitement and say, you know, this is our, this is Ijele masquerade. We're happy that you're here, and we're here to say, you know, you're welcome. So it's that masquerade now is part of that society, that community, that masquerade, because it performs every day. Now, normally you have it come maybe during the Ofala festival, but now you have an Ijele masquerade performing for the people of Enugu non-stop.
Yes. All right, now let's head into another side of things. Now, the cultural prime minister of Ogwinike, Mr. Bernard Ungu, says that indigents of Obiago were not consulted to share their thoughts ahead of the installation of the Ijele masquerade sculpture at the Onu Asata roundabout in Enugu. Mr. Ungu, speaking on behalf of the group, believes that the outlook of the masquerade does not agree with its traditional concept. The detailed interview.
They did not inform us before putting that in. That Ijele is not from Enugu State. It's not known for Ijele. Ijele is from Anambra State, not from Enugu. We call our own Egugu, Omambara, like their governor. They call their own Omambara or Enyim. So we don't know anything about this. And whoever built that thing, like our people used to say in Igbo language, all Oroma, because that is not complete masquerade. That thing there is not complete masquerade. Because people are not supposed to be seeing some certain things inside the masquerade. They are spirits. They insulted the masquerade. So they are supposed to go back there. They know what they're supposed to do in front of that masquerade. It is not supposed to be there. Because they have consulted us. No matter we are not doing Ijele, I'll tell them what to do. So they're supposed to go back. People that knows Ijele will not be happy with them. That's what I will tell you.
Sunday. Now, he's saying that the Ijele masquerade should have been more covered, that his basically the loins of the Ijele were out, that you can see within the Ijele, that it should be covered up, you know, and we heard him also say that this masquerade belongs to Anambra and not Enugu. But the Obi of Onitsha, during the unveiling, said that this masquerade is peculiar to Enugu and Anambra. What is your reaction to this other side, this group that is not comfortable with the way that you handled the masquerade design?
The most important thing that we should know as a people, that we are Igbos. Enugu, Anambra, Imo, Ebonyi, Afia, where in one day you travel the length and breadth of Southeast Nigeria. So saying you're from this part or you're from this part, I feel it's not significant for me, because we are Igbos. And what is the most important thing we're trying to do? There is cultural artifacts and antiquities are going out of extinction. And what we're doing as an artist, myself, is best I can is to present a sculptural representation. In Chinua Achebe's case, he wrote Things Fall Apart. In Chimamanda's case, Half of a Yellow Sun, and many others. We have memoirs by people who were soldiers in the Civil War. Our stories have to be told, one way or the other. How are you telling the stories? I have seen Ijele Masquerade perform, and I have seen different kinds of the Ijele Masquerades, from different nook and crannies or from different communities. However, in my research before creating the masquerade, I researched a whole lot. There are symbols and ideograms in these masquerades that depict various stuff. And what I picked was, we have the Enyi, we have the stars, we have the sun, which I've seen in different kinds of Ijele masquerades. However, there's what we call the Insibidi and the Uli symbols. Before the advent of civilization and westernization, the Igbo people had a sophisticated form of civilization which include the method of communication and passing on information. I'm asking you a question. Where is it today? We use alphabets, Greek, we have hieroglyphics of Egypt, we have the Roman figures of the Roman Empire. We had sophisticated empire, and Igbo people were powerful people all over the world. They are known for who they are. However, if we start saying this is from this place, then we're bringing division amongst ourselves. What I did with the Ijele masquerade was to bring back some of these ideograms of the Uli and Insibidi symbols that represent wealth, greatness, love, ifunanya. Now, the Igbo man has a way of getting out of whatever trouble he finds himself with just a proverbial expression. For example, there's a chaos, and they're going to bring peace. The first thing is, Onyebiri kaibeyabiri, live and let's live, which is there in the white man's parables. We also have Ebe Belu Go Belu, Kesi Ibe Ibena, Ukukwaya. Let the eagle perch and let the kites perch. The one that says the other person, we have Abakamu Obegondi. There are so many proverbial expressions. If you speak with old people, they will give you a very short story of a line that will solve a problem for you. So now, these are things that, if we hold very dear to our heart as Igbo, we would have a better society. If we have it in civil symbols in the public space, people know that, oh, this is about unity, this is about love. You see, people see this thing continuously.
But before you go ahead, the focus for this critique by the Prime Minister, the cultural Prime Minister, is that seeing the figure within. Okay. That it appears as if there's a strong individual holding.
There was an artistic approach that I used to do that thing. There are different kinds of Ijele masquerades. But in this case, I was going to create something very, very striking and shocking to onlookers. If you're doing an art piece, that's what we call a contraposture, where you have a magnificent piece in the air and have almost nothing holding it to the ground. I researched and searched on how I could make that work in the air without any support to the ground. I could not. But the best way I can was to make those legs visible so that you'll be imagining the brain and the kind of work and the kind of engineering and thinking that went into creating that. Now, the face of the masquerade is masked. So what we're showing is just from the belly downwards, which is just purely aesthetic.
They believe that the individual within is without clothes, and that offends them.
No, they didn't go close to see the piece. I created the work. You see, if you look very closely on the costume of the Ijele masquerade, you see some ideograms and some stuff around it. It's putting on a shoe. And if you look at it objectively, you wouldn't see, I knew that I was creating something that the world would see. And I was getting ready for whatsoever kind of critique that will come, which is sectional. Everybody has their own impression of what they think it should be. But I feel it's a sculptural piece that depicts the Ijele masquerade. I read that it is going out of extinction. UNESCO is saying, oh, we just need a way to bring back this thing. How are you going to bring back the Ijele masquerade? Are you going to bring Ijele masquerade standing there forever with a spirit standing in there with clothes, with the harmattan, the rain? Now we're talking about materials with the rain, a breeze. Now imagine a spirit standing there for a very long time. But what are we doing? We've done a near a perfect representation of what it should be, so that there will be a point and said there is this piece that, okay, if nobody does the Ijele masquerade in years to come, children yet unborn, they will be able to see that, oh, this is what it looks like. Before now, you say, oh, when you go to Obiago roundabout, you see masquerade during Christmas. Are you seeing it now? No.
All right. Now, let me quickly jump in there. 2 final questions.
It's still shit. We have what we call high relief sculptures. All the ideograms you see there were done individually and were placed in there.
No, the question is covering, you know, the part that is exposed and you see, because I do understand what you are probably trying to create. You wanted people to not just see something that looked like a standalone still picture. You wanted them to know that there was work beneath the surface level, that there's movement, that there's something within. But what they're saying is that they don't want to see that group, not all, that they don't want to see the inside of the masquerade. No. They want to assume that there's a spirit inside.
That's a sculptural piece, and it's an art piece. And I'm the sculptor, and I feel from the way the researches I have made, I couldn't just cover everything. Because when you cover everything, it becomes to sculptors. I did the work for sculptors all over the world to enjoy, and every other person to enjoy. We want to see the movement of the Ijele.
Definitely.
When the Ijele is moving, it's not just like a roundity piece, just like imagine a bucket dropped on the ground and it's down. Moving. It's become, so I want to see, I created movement.
You did.
That's what I wanted to achieve.
All right, now quick reaction to the Obi of Onitsha unveiling
I least expected to see him, but he's a great person who has come to unveil the masquerade, because he is a great custodian of culture and also a revered art collector all over the world. You know, I've read, he has a lot of fantastic collections, and I'm very, very honored that, you know, he was the one that came to, and I'm very, very grateful to him. And also, I'd like to also use the opportunity to thank His Excellency, Barrister Dr. Peter Ndirisimba, for doing a whole lot of good things to our people. And, you know, you can see it's obvious. There is a cultural resurgimento and a cultural revival in Enugu. And by God's grace, with the way he's going, I'm here to give every kind of support I can as an artist, to put up monuments, not just the Ijele masquerade, many more, that would bring tourists from every nook and crannies of the world, because this is what I'm here for, and by God's grace, with him, we could achieve all these things.
All right. Thank you so much, Sunday Chukwu. Oji? Any final question?
It's a great deal. Like, I'm just here listening to you guys and watching him. He says a legend where I'm honored and humbled to
have you in our stable again.
Because you don't really know what you did. Like, 100 years to come, 1,000 years to come, right? You're not going to be here, but you've actually erected something that your name can never, ever go off this planet Earth till, you know, like Kingdom Come. So it's a great deal. And thank you very much for, you know, putting your life into this and breathing life into this sculpture.
Into the sculpture, and even still saying that you would be able to continue to maintain it. That, you know, I like the dream that you had, but because of time, we have to draw the curtains right now on the show, on this segment, not on the show, on this segment. But right before I let you guys go, I want to just say that I completely admire the masquerade just as it is. I think it would have looked rather, considering that you're looking at art interpretation, it would have looked rather deadpan, flat, if you had just covered it up and made it look like a bucket turned upside down. The fact that you come to the front and there's some excitement, that structure within, and I wouldn't call it an individual any longer. I can assume that it's a spirit, because like you said, I can't see its face. By the way, you see spirits, or the people that see spirits, or you see spirits being represented in movies, how do you represent a spirit that you don't know what it looks like? You have to find a way as an artist to represent it in a way. So you're actually looking through that looking glass and seeing something beneath the surface. And that, to me, is artistic intelligence. So I think the Ijele is just perfect the way it is. And you put in a lot of work. And if I had seen this anywhere else, even if it wasn't you who did it, I would have still admired it. I'm even beating myself up right now for not taking a proper picture in front of the masquerade, but I will go back.
It's still there. The good thing is it's still there for everybody to enjoy.
Exactly. So watch out for my Instagram page, and well, very soon you might just see me posing like this in front of the Ijele masquerade. Thank you once again, Sunday Chukwu.
Thank you.
And right before we go and have our last guest on today's show, I would like to announce the winner of yesterday's 12 Days of Christmas special. And I'm quite excited because this person gets to win 5,000 vouchers for a meal at Open Sheraton in Enugu. It looks like it was 5,000. Is that what Afia? No, this is not giving you the money. This is actually giving you a complete meal, which can probably get you any kind of rice you like, chicken, and maybe even a drink to go with it. Just something that will keep you going for the rest of the day. So yes, it is a meal gift or a food voucher. The winner of yesterday's 12 Days of Christmas special with the question, what did Ozo Igbonekwu Ogazimorah say would happen if all Nigerians start to speak up like Kemi Badenoch? And the person who was able to answer correctly first with the fastest fingers is Esther Jonah. Esther Jonah, congratulations. You are the winner of yesterday's challenge. Do well to reach out to this number to claim your gift, 0811-542-2594. 0811-542-2594. And finally, 0811-542-2594. Reach out to this number so that you can claim your prize before I do it on your behalf. Or perhaps Oji does so on your behalf. I mean, I'm quite hungry. I've been complaining, look at my neck. I'm losing weight, so I might need that prize. So do well to call immediately and try to claim your gift. We'll draw the curtains on this segment of the show. When we return, we'll be dropping the question for today, and the winner would also be getting something extra special. Stay with us. The show returns shortly. A chance to win an early Christmas surprise this year on the Afia Morning Show 12 Days of Christmas Special. How to win? Watch the Afia Morning Show on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, or on YouTube at Afia News and on Facebook at Afia TV. Listen closely to the anchors, guests, and correspondents. Watch out for the question of the day. Locate the live stream of the Afia Morning Show on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@Afia News. Be the first to share your answer to the question in the comment section on YouTube. The winner will be announced during the next day's broadcast. The Afia Morning Show 12 Days of Christmas Special lasts from Friday the 12th of December 2024 to Tuesday the 24th of December 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Proudly supported by
But why won't I be happy? Not just because it's festive season. It's moments of friendship and 60 million reasons to love. Small Pepe.
Babes, this dress is given. Don't forget the earrings. Those are 2 reasons already.
The best reasons will make your heart beat faster. And make every laugh worth it. It's all about holding hands, sharing and enjoying happy times together.
Have more reasons to be happy with Niger dramas, football, and more smiles on DSTV this festive season. DSTV, your home of entertainment.
time check is 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
You're welcome back to the Afia Morning Show 12 Days of Christmas special. And of course, we're going to be having a discussion now on the Southeast and issues that concern the region ahead of this Christmas Day, the big day that is coming up just 4 days away. Some people are arguing now 5 days, but I still think 4 days away. Lots of issues right now concern the Southeast, especially in the area of transportation costs. The issue of security, we're looking at high airfares, we're looking at economic hardship that's affecting the entire country. But down here, a lot of the things are coming, the onions and the rest, it's affecting everybody. And we just saw a newspaper headline yesterday that read that a return ticket from Lagos to Anambra is now as high as 700,000 naira. Can you believe that? We're seeing people that are saying that the Onitsha Head Bridge should be decongested by people exploring the second Niger Bridge so that the traffic is reduced. And these travelers cannot even consider going by air because of the price. So just imagine how this must feel, this mass homecoming period, people trying to come to celebrate their loved ones, and everything is just over their heads, and they have to go through shortcuts and, you know, easier routes because everything else that should be basic infrastructure is unable to manage the traffic that this season usually comes with. And who better discuss this with us than Umeade Inade, a management accountant who always has the best advice, especially on saving money. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Good morning, welcome. Thank you. Wow, it's been a long time.
A long time coming.
Yeah.
So tell us, you know, let's gain your appreciation of the, you know, the issues and concerns that affect Southeasterners directly this festive season.
Well, you mentioned them, almost all of them. You talked about the issue of security, because for me, that is key. That is number one, the issue of security in Southeast. But like I always try to say, not just Southeast, so that it doesn't look as if Southeast is totally different from what is happening in Nigeria. The insecurity in Southeast is also the insecurity as a result of the insecurity we have nationwide, because I've tried to talk to my friends who don't live in Southeast, who think that Southeast is something very unusual than what happens other parts of the nation. I normally tell them it's the same thing. Okay, so yes, there is insecurity, and of course, you mentioned the issue of the fare, the high cost of fare. Someone was actually posting on social media, I think yesterday, he was comparing the transport fare from, I think, yes, Lagos to, I think, a place like Makurdi, and then Lagos to, I think, Enugu or somewhere. Now, the distance, Lagos to Southeast is closer than Lagos to Makurdi, but the fare from Lagos to, I think it was Makurdi, was far cheaper than Lagos to the Southeast. The person was like, what is going on? Why is it so? And I smiled because as a financial person, I understand the issue of demand and supply. So that is why, because the demand for fare, demand to travel to Southeast is much. So it is normally expected that the price will go up. So that is normal economic situation. It happens normally in economics. So yes, the high cost of fare, and then the scarcity of the resources. We all know what is going on in Nigeria. So we are not immune to what happens in Nigeria as a region. So also the high cost of living, not just transportation, but generally. You mentioned onions. I heard someone this morning saying, but I saw a skit maker who made a skit saying that onions is now something that you have to protect with all your life. That in fact he got onions and he was running away from his neighbor. So all those things are affecting us down here in the southeast.
But the exorbitant price,
yes,
is that not exploitation at this point in time? Because yes, everybody wants to. They know the Igbos. Yeah. Let me just put it that way. The Easterners, they love to go home and celebrate Yuletide with their family members, right? Yes. Everybody loves to come back, have that family feel of celebration. So the exorbitant price, yes, we know that it has to increase, but going overboard. Again, the air tickets fare is up to 700,000 naira coming down to the east. Is that exploitation?
You see, I normally try to educate people. We are in a capitalist country. There's nothing like exorbitant price. If the person didn't lie to you, the only way I would say that it is wrong is if the person tells you that if you fly this airplane, I'll fly you to heaven, okay? Or this plane I'm flying you, instead of landing in Onitsha, or in Anambra rather, I'll fly you to Los Angeles. So he's lying. But if the etiquette is, look, if you buy this etiquette, I'm selling it 2 million, and where I'm going to drop you is at Anambra State Airport, and it's going to take maybe 45 minutes for me to land you there. And you saw it, you agreed, you are going to pay. What is the issue there? It's now for you to decide either to take it or to decide not to travel. Nobody is putting knife on your neck that you must travel. Nobody is pointing gun on your head that you must travel. Do you understand? And nobody is saying you must travel by air.
Even they go by road.
Yes, because I was going to come to that. Now, let's discuss specifics too, because in Enugu, there is an area that I don't think we are actually harping on enough. I don't think people are raising enough emphasis on it, especially as this is a road that takes us to University Town.
Okay.
And that is the Ozo Igbonekwu Ogazimorah road. Ozo Igbonekwu is now known for, when you get to OP, there's this paranoia that comes.
Yes,
Ozo Igbonekwu paranoia that comes because it has become a hub of kidnapping.
Yes.
The new semester is about to commence. Parents are even scared of their kids flying that road because of the level of kidnapping. But guess what? There are checkpoints there that are supposed to be clamping down on this, but that's not happening.
Yes.
So, looking at people that probably come from Nsukka and are in Enugu city, they have to travel back along that road. What do you think is the alternative for them? What should the government, security agency be doing at this point? Is it that they are not hearing these stories of the level of kidnapping on that exists?
Sincerely, it's quite pathetic, if I may say. And I'm not a security expert, but I'll speak my own opinion as a Nigerian, as a concerned Nigerian. Sometimes you begin to wonder, what are the security operatives doing there? Because like you said, I traveled that road, I think a few weeks back.
Oh, you were able to travel that road?
Yes, I did. I had to. Incidentally, I'm from OP, so I have to go to my place. I will still travel to that place this Christmas. I will still go. Now, I had some function, I have functions to go to do in my village, and I had to go. And then, like you said, you see lots and lots of checkpoints. So you begin to, and then you see here the news of the kidnapping, then you begin to ask, what is going on? I don't want to believe rumors, of course, on social media and other. I'm not a security expert. I am not in government. I don't have any information. But then this happens, you begin to ask, is anything going on that we don't know? Are those security agents, are they really doing something funny that with collaboration? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a security expert. I don't have any information. I'm just speaking based on facts and what, as alleged, and what we read on social media. And so I don't have any information. I don't know anything. I'm just speaking what, and then when you now check what happens, you cannot go how many kilometers without seeing a checkpoint fully armed. Okay? And then you see, don't go another kilometer, you find another one. And then on the same road, kidnapping is going on very rampantly. You begin to ask, what is going on? So,
what is going on?
So I don't know. So for me, like what you're asking, I'm calling on the governor because he's the chief security officer. Let him look into it. I believe, from what I'm seeing, I believe he means well for the state. Okay, I believe he wants the state to move forward.
Yes.
So I'm calling on him
to
use his good office to look into what is going on.
Unfortunately, we are now out of time, but I like that you were able to end with that call to action to the government and security agencies to look into the spate of kidnapping on that axis. It is now an open secret. It is too much, and quite frankly, people are terrified about their children, their wards having to resume school after the festive season, especially those who have successfully gained admission there. So, thank you, Mr. Nadi, for joining us, management accountant. And this brings us to the very end of today's show. But before we let you go, the question for today's 12 Days of Christmas special that would give you a chance to win a prize that we'll be announcing soon is... Remember, to win this prize, you need to go straight to Afia News on YouTube. Locate the Afia Morning Show stream under the live section of the interface. Go to this AM show stream, 20th of December 2024, and comment what you think is the correct answer first. The question is, what did sculptor Sunday Chukwu dream of? I repeat, the question is, what did sculptor Sunday Chukwu dream of? Oji.
Yeah, so
Chief Santa.
if you get that answer correct, you're going to be winning something great for yourself, like from the House of Olakuti, right? A 3 months free empowerment, physical training on fashion designing. Well, beginner's level, but then again, it's just a great start for you. So just go right there on down the stream right now and comment what the answer is. If you get it correct and right, you're getting yourself a free 3 months empowerment, physical training on fashion designing. Beginner's level, by the way, from House of Olakuti.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you for joining the show today. Have an amazing day ahead.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is